Before we start testing the other components, let's discuss how the oven works. The oven uses 4 components to operate properly: the oven control, the oven sensor, the oven igniter, and safety valve. We know the oven control programs the operation of the oven and closes an internal relay to send 120 volts AC down to the oven igniter. The oven igniter is made of a silicon carbide material. When the 120 volts is applied to the igniter, it heats up to around 1800 degrees, what we call flash point. Only when it gets up to the 1800 degrees does it generate 3.3 to 3.8 amps of current flow to open the safety valve and let gas flow. We don't want gas flowing into the oven until the igniter is hot enough to ignite the gas. The igniter electrical supply is critical for the proper operation of the safety valve. There have been numerous times that the igniter will glow red but not provide enough current flow to open the valve and cause a misdiagnosis, meaning the safety valve is replaced instead of a faulty igniter. Controlling the operation of these components is the oven sensor. It monitors the oven temperature and sends a signal to the oven control to open and shut the bake broil relay. The oven control regulates current flow to the igniter, which in turn cycles the opening and closing of the safety valve throughout the cycle. We went over this rather quickly, but mentioned some important numbers to remember: 120 volts AC, 1800 degrees, and 3.3 to 3.8 amps. At the back of the range near the bottom, remove 4 Phillips head screws that mount a cover over the safety valve. Disconnect the igniter quick disconnect plug. Test for 50 to 1100 ohms resistance at room temperature across the igniter wires. Reconnect the wires. Reconnect power to the range. Press the bake keypad and the start keypad. Use an amp clamp and measure the current flow from the igniter to the safety valve. It should be between 3.2 and 3.8 amps. If it does not reach this measurement, replace the igniter. To remove the oven igniter, unplug range or disconnect the power. Remove the igniter quick disconnect plug at the back of the oven. Remove the broiler drawer. Locate and remove 2 Phillips head screws from the igniter mounting bracket connected to the oven burner. Pull igniter out. Disconnect igniter wires from the safety valve terminals. Test for 1 to 5 ohms of resistance across the safety valve terminals. Remove the electrical connections from the valve. Using a 3/4 inch and 9/16 inch open-end wrench, remove the gas line from the valve. Do not bend the gas tubing. Remove the 2 Phillips head mounting screws from the valve. Lift the valve to release the gas tube from the oven burner. Pull safety valve off. When replacing the safety valve, you must be sure to get the gas outlet orifice located into the oven burner tube. The regulator has one outlet that is connected to the oven safety valve and one outlet for the cooktop. The gas inlet is on the opposite side of the regulator. Use a manometer or a magnehelic gauge to test the regulator, as discussed earlier. Shut off the gas supply. Disconnect the gas line and pipe adapter. Use a 5/8 inch open-end wrench to disconnect the gas line from the safety valve. Do not bend the tubing. Use a 5/8 inch and 3/4 inch open-end wrench to disconnect the gas line from the cooktop manifold pipe. Do not bend the tubing. Remove the 2 Phillips head mounting screws on the pressure regulator bracket. Remove the regulator. The gas inlet has a manual shutoff valve so that the gas to the safety valve can be turned off. Always have the valve in the open position.